Awaken your spirit, divine souls, and anointed ones. Imagine this. Out of the billions of people scrolling mindlessly, you, yes, you, have arrived here. What if this moment isn't just a random pause in your day, but a deliberate act of destiny? What if the words you're about to hear are meant to stir something deep within you, something ancient, something divine? History is full of extraordinary callings disguised as ordinary moments. A voice from a burning bush, a dream that shifts the course of nations, a whisper in the stillness that refuses to be ignored. And now, perhaps, it's this, a message illuminated on your screen, calling you to pay attention. The truth is, God's call rarely lands on those who feel ready or qualified. Instead, it seeks out the unlikely, the overlooked, the ones who never imagined they'd be chosen. And right now, you might be feeling a little of that tug, a mix of curiosity and disbelief. Could it really be you? Here's the thing. The people God calls don't fit the mold. They're not always the strongest, the smartest, or the most prepared, but they are willing. And if God can speak through a donkey in the Bible, who's to say He can't reach you through this very moment? Don't scroll away. What you're about to uncover could redefine how you see yourself, your purpose, and the extraordinary way divine intervention can shape the world, through people just like you. 1. A hidden alliance between faith and power. What if divine intervention isn't limited to miracles and spiritual experiences? What if it extends to power and influence within the systems that shape our world? For centuries, the idea that faith and governance could work together has often been dismissed as unrealistic, even absurd. And yet, here we stand, on the brink of a possibility that challenges conventional thinking. This isn't about forcing religion into politics or blending faith into policies for show. It's about something far deeper, an alignment of divine wisdom with leadership on earth. Imagine a government official chosen not merely by votes, but by a higher power, a purpose far greater than any human decision. Could this be part of an unseen plan, a divine blueprint merging wisdom from above with leadership on earth? Think of David. He wasn't a politician. He was a shepherd tending his flock. Yet God saw his heart and chose him to lead an entire nation. What if this moment carries a similar significance? And this isn't limited to biblical times. History is filled with leaders who seemed destined for greatness, rising to positions of power despite impossible odds. What if the same unseen hand is at work in the lives of leaders today, preparing them to align earthly governance with eternal truths? 2. Why you? The mystery of divine selection. Have you stopped to wonder why, out of all the souls in the world, you are the one encountering this message right now? Why, in this very moment, it has appeared before you? This is not random. This is not luck. This is a reflection of purpose, of divine timing, and of who you are destined to become. God doesn't select the obvious candidates, the ones who are ready, polished, or perfect. He chooses those who are open, willing, or even uncertain. Those who may feel completely unprepared yet carry within them the seeds of greatness waiting to grow. And it's not just about you. It's about the ripple effects your choice can create. Every soul you touch, every action you take, has the power to influence others in ways you may never fully comprehend. Your calling is connected to something far greater than you. You've been chosen not for who you are now, but for who you are meant to become. That's why this moment feels so profound, maybe even unsettling. It's meant to. Growth rarely comes in comfort. It comes when we are called to step into the unknown. So if this moment stirs something deep within you, don't dismiss it. It's a sign, a divine tap on the shoulder, a reminder that your life is part of a larger story. 3. The weight of being chosen. a blessing or a test. To be chosen is not about basking in glory, it's about embracing responsibility. When God calls you, it's rarely as a reward. It's often as a challenge to your faith, your character, and your willingness to rise to the occasion even when the odds seem stacked against you. But here's the beauty of it. God doesn't call the perfect. He perfects those He calls. He takes ordinary people with extraordinary potential and equips them for a purpose far beyond their imagination. Consider Mary, a humble young woman chosen to be the mother of Jesus. She didn't ask for such a monumental task, but her willingness to say yes changed the course of history. Her story reminds us that saying yes to a calling, even when it's daunting, can lead to unimaginable blessings. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to have your life perfectly figured out. All you need is the courage to show up, to say yes to the call, and to trust that you are being prepared for something extraordinary. This moment is not about who you've been, but about who you are becoming. It's an invitation to step into a divine purpose that will not only transform your life, but also ripple out into the world in ways you can't yet comprehend. Will you answer the call? 4. What is a God-chosen official? A God-chosen leader isn't defined by their titles, accolades, or worldly achievements. Their authority doesn't come from what's written on a resume or the number of votes they've received. Instead, it's rooted in something far more profound, a divine connection to purpose, driven by a calling that transcends human understanding. This type of leadership is not about policies, procedures, or political agendas. It's about vision, a vision inspired by heaven and grounded in the needs of humanity. God-chosen leaders serve as bridges, uniting the spiritual with the tangible. They carry the weight of heaven's purpose while addressing the challenges and desires of the people they lead. It's not an easy path, but it's one filled with meaning, depth, and the potential to transform lives. They don't just lead with authority, they lead with humility, wisdom, and a profound sense of responsibility to the divine mission entrusted to them. These leaders don't merely seek to govern, they seek to uplift, inspire, and guide humanity closer to its highest potential. The impact of their leadership isn't confined to their lifetime. It reverberates through generations, creating legacies that continue to inspire and shape the world. You may not think of yourself as a leader, but what if your influence, in small or grand ways, is meant to guide others toward a greater good? 5. The possibility of prophetic collaboration. What if this moment isn't just a chance encounter, but the beginning of something extraordinary? What if this is the spark of a connection meant to shift perspectives, transform leadership, and inspire change on a scale you can't yet imagine? When divine insight merges with strategic leadership, the possibilities are limitless. Together, they can create ripple effects that go beyond politics, beyond governance, and into the hearts of people, redefining what it means to lead with purpose and vision. But make no mistake, prophetic collaboration is no easy task. It demands more than just shared goals. It requires profound humility, an openness to divine wisdom, and a steadfast trust in the unseen. It calls for courage to navigate complexities, face challenges, and embrace a higher purpose even when the path ahead is uncertain. This isn't just about merging worlds. It's about creating a new paradigm of leadership. One rooted in trust, guided by wisdom, and driven by the belief that together, divine guidance and human action can truly transform the world. 6. Not all chosen ones feel chosen. It's a common truth. Those God chooses often feel the least worthy. Think of Moses, who doubted his ability to speak eloquently. Think of Gideon, who hesitated because he saw himself as the least of his tribe. Think of the disciples, ordinary fishermen, tax collectors, and skeptics, called to be the foundation of a movement that would change the world. Feeling unqualified isn't a sign of inadequacy. It's a reminder that God doesn't require perfection. In fact, your feelings of self-doubt may be the very reason you've been chosen. Why? Because those who lean on divine strength are more attuned to its power. The vessel that feels empty is the one most capable of being filled. In the grand narrative of divine purpose, God often chooses those who feel unworthy because their humility allows them to become vessels for something greater. You might look at your life and see flaws, failures, or limitations. God looks at the same life and sees potential, purpose, and power. What if your perceived weaknesses are actually your greatest strengths in disguise? What if the struggles you've faced, the questions you've wrestled with, and the insecurities you've carried are the very tools that will shape you into the person you're meant to be? The heroes of history rarely saw themselves as heroes at the start. They simply said yes, one step at a time. This moment, this message, isn't here to flatter you. It's here to remind you that greatness isn't born out of confidence, but out of courage. Even if you feel small, even if you feel unworthy, remember, God's power is made perfect in your weakness. The question is, will you trust it? 7. Divine timing. The universe doesn't schedule randomly. If you've ever doubted the timing of events in your life, let this be your confirmation. Nothing happens by chance. Divine timing is as intricate as the gears of a master clock, each moment aligning perfectly with the next, to create a story that unfolds at the precise pace it's meant to. Reflect on the moments in your life that felt coincidental but led to profound changes. Perhaps it was meeting someone who shifted your perspective, stumbling upon a book that answered a lingering question, or experiencing a delay that ultimately saved you from harm. These weren't random. They were divine. Right now, as you engage with this message, take a moment to consider where you are in your life. Are you in a season of waiting, wondering when your breakthrough will come? Or are you at a crossroads, unsure which path to take? This moment could be the turning point you've been praying for, the divine nudge that sets your life on a new trajectory. Divine timing doesn't always make sense in the moment. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how perfectly the pieces fit together. Trust that the universe is working behind the scenes, orchestrating events to align with your highest good. The waiting, the detours, the setbacks, they all serve a purpose. Patience isn't passive. It's active trust in divine timing. 8. The risk of ignoring the call. Saying no to a divine calling doesn't just affect you, it affects the world around you. Every calling has a ripple effect, touching lives, communities, and even generations. To ignore it isn't just to walk away from your own purpose. It's to leave a void that no one else can fill. But why do we hesitate to say yes? Fear, doubt, and the allure of comfort often hold us back. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if this path is too hard? These questions can paralyze us, but they're also part of the process. The weight of a calling is meant to stretch you, to push you beyond what you think you're capable of. See on-sider Jonah, who ran from his calling only to find himself swallowed by a great fish. His story isn't just about punishment, it's about redirection. Even when we resist, divine purpose has a way of finding us. But the longer we run, the harder the journey becomes. Saying yes to a calling may be uncomfortable, but saying no can be devastating. It's not just an opportunity lost. It's a purpose unfulfilled. What could your yes ignite? Whose lives could your obedience transform? Don't let fear rob you of the extraordinary. 9. Could this be a test of your faith and discernment? Not every opportunity is a calling. Discerning the difference between a distraction and divine direction is one of the greatest tests of faith. How can you tell the difference? By listening, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. The noise of the world can make it difficult to hear divine whispers. Social media, endless to-do lists, and the pressure to succeed can drown out the voice that says, "This is the way, walk in it." This is why discernment is so vital. It requires stillness, reflection, and trust in your inner guidance. A divine calling will often align with your values and stir something deep within you, even if it feels daunting. A distraction, on the other hand, may glitter with promise, but ultimately pulls you away from your higher purpose. The key is to seek clarity. Pray, meditate, journal. Whatever helps you connect with your inner knowing. Faith isn't just about believing in what you can't see. It's about trusting in what you feel deep in your soul. This moment could be a test, not to punish you, but to prepare you. Are you willing to pause, reflect, and choose the path that aligns with your highest truth? 10. The ripple effect of obedience. When you say yes to your calling, you unleash a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circumstances. Your courage inspires others to find their own. Your actions create opportunities for transformation in ways you may never witness. Think of people like Nelson Mandela, who spent decades in prison, yet emerged as a leader who dismantled apartheid and inspired the world. His obedience to his calling didn't just free a nation, it ignited hope across the globe. Or consider someone closer to home, a teacher, a mentor, a friend, whose small acts of faith and courage left a lasting impact on your life. Obedience isn't about perfection. It's about surrender. It's about trusting that your yes, no matter how small it feels, has the power to change lives. What might your obedience set into motion? What futures could your faith unlock? 11. When earthly power meets eternal purpose. Earthly power often seeks control, dominance, and immediate results. But when it aligns with eternal purpose, it transcends the here and now, creating a legacy that impacts generations. Think of Queen Esther, who risked her life to save her people. Her position as queen wasn't an accident. It was a divine placement. She could have stayed silent, protected her own comfort, and avoided risk. But by aligning her earthly role with her eternal purpose, she became a vessel for divine intervention. You may not see yourself as someone with power, but leadership isn't confined to titles or positions. It's about influence, integrity, and the courage to act when it matters most. What if your role, no matter how small it seems, is part of a greater plan? What if your choices today are shaping the future in ways you can't yet imagine? 12. Reimagine your role in the divine narrative. Your life is a thread in the tapestry of divine purpose. Every experience, every triumph, every failure, every moment of waiting has been preparing you for this. What if everything you've been through has been leading up to this moment? Reimagining your role means letting go of the limitations you've placed on yourself. It means seeing your life not as a series of random events, but as a story with a purpose. You are not a spectator in this narrative. You are a protagonist, called to step into your power and play your part. Think for a moment about the tapestry itself. Each thread, no matter how small or unassuming, contributes to the larger picture. A single strand might seem insignificant when viewed alone, but when woven together with others, it creates a masterpiece. Your life is one of those threads, uniquely colored, intricately designed, and essential to the whole. Without your contribution, the tapestry would be incomplete. To reimagine your role is to see yourself not as a passive participant, but as an active co-creator of the divine narrative. It's about embracing your power, not in a way that inflates your ego, but in a way that magnifies your purpose. You are part of something so much bigger than yourself, yet your role is irreplaceable. Imagine the ripple effect of every choice you make, every step you take, and how it contributes to the unfolding of something extraordinary. Consider the moments in your life that seemed random or painful, the detours, the heartbreaks, the failures. Could these have been divine preparations, shaping you for a purpose greater than you could have imagined? Think of the struggles that taught you resilience, the relationships that taught you love, and even the silence that taught you patience. Each moment has added a layer of depth to your story, equipping you with the tools you need to fulfill your purpose. Stepping into your role doesn't mean you need to have all the answers. It's not about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about willingness. A willingness to say yes, even when the path is unclear. A willingness to trust that your journey, no matter how winding or uncertain, is part of a greater design. What if the divine narrative is less about what you do and more about how you do it? What if your kindness, your courage, and your faith are the markers of your role? Sometimes, the most profound impact comes not from grand gestures, but from small acts of love and faithfulness. A kind word to a stranger, a moment of patience with a loved one, or the decision to pursue your passion despite fear. These are the threads that weave together to create something divine. Reimagining your role also means letting go of comparison. Your purpose is uniquely yours, and it cannot be measured against someone else's journey. The world needs the gifts that only you can bring. Trying to fit into someone else's role not only diminishes your own potential, but also leaves a void where your light is meant to shine. The divine narrative is vast, encompassing countless souls and infinite possibilities. Yet your role is irreplaceable. Imagine a symphony, each instrument playing its part. The violins don't try to be trumpets, and the flutes don't compete with the drums. Each contributes its unique sound, and together they create something transcendent. Your life is like one of those instruments. The world needs your melody, your rhythm, your voice. What if stepping into your role inspires others to step into theirs? Your courage to embrace your purpose could be the spark that ignites someone else's journey. The divine narrative isn't just about individual stories. It's about how those stories intertwine, lifting each other, supporting each other, and creating something far greater than the sum of its parts. Will you embrace it? Will you trust that your life is not a random series of events, but a carefully crafted chapter in a much larger story? The pen is in your hand, but the ink is divine. Write boldly, trust deeply, and know that your role, no matter how small it feels, is a critical piece of the masterpiece unfolding around you. The tapestry is waiting for your thread. Will you weave it? You're not here by accident. This moment was designed to awaken something within you, a sense of purpose, a call to action, a reminder of your divine potential. The choice to respond is yours. Will you say yes? Will you step into the unknown, trust in divine timing, and allow your life to become a vessel for transformation? The ripples of your decision will extend far beyond you, touching lives in ways you may never see, but will always matter. Take action now. Subscribe to Wisdom Warrior and join a community of seekers, visionaries, and chosen ones stepping boldly into their callings. Together, we are shaping a world inspired by purpose. Before you go, share your angel number in the comments. It could hold a message waiting to guide you. Mine is 222. What's yours? Bless you, beautiful soul.